But when you're dealing with something as awful as crypto shit, it's just unspeakable. It's an absolute horror, and I'm ashamed of my country that so many people believe in this kind of crap, and that the government allows it to exist. It is totally, absolutely crazy, stupid gambling with enormous house odds for the people on the other side, and they cheat in addition to cheating in the betting. And it's just crazy. So that is something, there's only one correct answer for intelligent people there, is just totally avoid it. And avoid all the people that are promoting it.
During the annual meeting of the Daily Journal, Charlie Munger, who serves as vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway and is also a board member of the publication, addressed a diverse array of topics and fielded numerous questions. Munger is widely regarded as one of the most accomplished investors in history and is a billionaire in his own right. The event was broadcast live by CNBC. He said crypto and related companies are running a gambling casino. He also humorously called it crypto crapo. According to Munger, cryptocurrency doesn't fit the definition of a currency, commodity, or security. Instead, he describes it as a form of gambling with a significant advantage for the operator. Munger has called for the enactment of new federal legislation in the United States to prevent this type of activity. Prior to beginning the video, please ensure that you subscribe to our channel and enable notifications for our latest videos.
This is an incredible thing. Naturally, people like to run gambling casinos where other people lose. And the people who invented this crypto crapo, which is my name for it, and sometimes I call it crypto crapo and sometimes I call it, well, crypto shit. And it's just ridiculous that anybody would buy this stuff. And it isn't. You can think of hardly nothing on earth that has done more good to the human race than currency, national currencies. They were absolutely required to turn man from a goddamn successful ape into modern successful humans in human civilization. Because it enabled all these convenient exchanges. So if somebody says, I'm going to create something that sort of replaces the national currency, it's like saying I'm going to replace the national air, you know. It's asinine. It isn't even slightly stupid, it's massively stupid. And of course it's very dangerous, and of course the governments were totally wrong to permit it. And of course I'm not proud of my country for allowing this crap, what I call the crypto shit, it's worthless, it's no good, it's crazy, it'll do nothing but harm, it's antisocial to allow it. And the guy who made the correct decision on this is the Chinese leader. The Chinese leader took one look at crypto shit and he says, not in my China. And boom, well, there isn't any crypto shit in China. He's right and we're wrong. Well, and there is no good argument on the other side. I can't supply it.
In the first quarter of 2022, Munger divested 300,000 shares, equivalent to 50% of the Daily Journal's holdings. He has since cited Alibaba as one of his most significant missteps, admitting that he was swayed by its internet operations and failed to recognize its status as a retailer operating in a highly competitive sector.
Well, of course, it was a very interesting thing. Jack Ma was a dominant capitalist in Alibaba. And one day he got up and made a public speech where he basically said the Communist Party is full of malarkey. They don't know their ass from their elbow. They're no damn good and I'm smart. And of course, the Communist Party didn't particularly like his speech. And pretty soon he just sort of disappeared from view for months on end. And now he's out of BYD. It was pretty stupid. It's like poking a bear in the nose with a sharp stick. It's not smart. And Jack Ma got way out of line by popping off the way he did to the Chinese government. And of course it hurt Alibaba. But I regard Alibaba as one of the worst mistakes I ever made. In thinking about Alibaba, I got charmed with the idea of their position on the Chinese internet. I didn't stop to realize they're still a goddamn retailer. It's going to be a competitive business, the internet. It's not going to be a cakewalk for everybody.
Munger acknowledged that BYD, a Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, has a considerable edge over Tesla in China, stating that the gap between the two is almost absurd. However, he also noted that BYD's stock is relatively costly. Munger commented on BYD's valuation, stating that at its present stock price, the company's worth exceeds that of the entire Mercedes Corporation. He acknowledged that the stock is not inexpensive, but also emphasized that BYD is an exceptionally impressive company. When he asked to choose between Tesla and BYD as an investment, Munger expressed that the answer was straightforward.
Well, that's easy. Tesla last year reduced its prices in China twice. BYD increased its prices. We're direct competitors. We're so much ahead of BYD. I mean, BYD is so much ahead of Tesla in China. It's like it's almost ridiculous. And if you look at BYD, which most people have never heard of, if you count all the manufacturing space they have in China to make cars, it would amount to a big percentage of all the land in Manhattan Island. And nobody ever heard of them a few years ago. You could understand why some people would sell Berkshire's BYD stock at 50 times earnings. At the current price of BYD stock, little BYD is worth more than the entire Mercedes Corporation. Market capitalization. So it's not a cheap stock. On the other hand, it's a very remarkable company. And by the way, I want to tell people the great contribution I made to the success of BYD.
During a discussion on the impact of technology, Munger was asked about his thoughts on ChatGPT. In response, Munger expressed his belief that artificial intelligence is a mixed blessing. He cited examples of how people have attempted to utilize AI for tasks such as insurance underwriting and real estate purchasing, but questioned the effectiveness of such applications. He also referenced how technology had significantly disrupted the publishing industry in the past.
I think artificial intelligence is very important, but there's also a lot of crazy hype on the subject. Artificial intelligence is not going to cure cancer. It's not going to do everything that we want done. And there's a lot of nonsense in it, too. So I regard it as a mixed blessing, all this artificial intelligence. Some people have used it in some things like insurance underwriting pretty well. But a lot of people try and use it in ordinary things like buying office buildings or something. And I think that's way more, I don't think it's going to help anybody buy an office building. Not very much anyway.
At the end, Munger shared what he considers the secret of life, which is to make progress incrementally. Throughout the conversation, Munger also shared valuable insights, including his negative opinions on Bitcoin and his admission of error in regards to Alibaba. This concludes the discussion for today. We welcome your thoughts in the comment section below, and if you found this video informative or enjoyable, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest news and videos. We'll see you next time.